If you have an online worship service, do you know who's worshiping online? Hi, everybody. I'm Reverend Jim Keat, digital minister at the Riverside Church and the director of online innovation at Convergence. This is the show where we talk about how to do digital ministry. So let's do that. Today, we're going to talk about your online worship service, specifically the congregants in the online worship service. Here's what I'm getting at. A lot of this kind of stems from, I think it was Bruce Ray's-Chow, who early on in the pandemic had something about we need to stop replicating the liturgies of the past and we need to reimagine them for our present and our future. Maybe he said regurgitate. We need to stop regurgitating the liturgies of our past. Either way, I think that too often this is the default. We just do what we've always done and stick a camera in and say, hey, we're live streaming. People can watch online. Here's where I break some of this down. First off, if you just put a camera up, cool, you're making it accessible. But that doesn't mean you know the people who are worshiping online. You might know they're out there because you see some analytics showing you views or concurrent live streams or whatever metric you're looking at. So you know there's someone pushing play, but do you know who it is? And I think too often the answer is no, because it's hard. It takes work. It takes building a structure and a system to be able to even figure out who that person, those people might be. But the reality is we do this all the time. We've done this for the whole history of gathering as churches. We have systems in place, whether it's ushers or the clergy at the... I got my 7-month-old down here. He's excited. We have clergy at the door or ushers or staff who are greeting people. Hi. We have clergy and ushers and staff who are greeting people to take their names and introduce ourselves and make those connections. In some ways, yeah, it's simpler because we can see the person and go up and say, hi, I'm Jim, what's your name? And now I know who you are. But it still takes some intentionality. Or maybe you have like a welcome card, those things that people can sign and put in a thing so you can stay in touch. What's the online version of that? What are you doing to even make yourself available to these online people, to reach out, shake their digital hand, have some sort of a way they can fill out an online card? Are you even doing anything of that capacity so you can know who they are? Yeah, he agrees. See, told you. Now, here's why I think this is important. If we don't do the work in knowing who's worshiping online, let alone how many people they are, then we simply end up regurgitating the liturgies of our past and copying and pasting them onto the present and the future, regardless of contextual, regardless of how it fits the. We're just gonna go with this. This is called Daddy and Kai Film a Video. He's the commentary. Let me just get to the point because I gotta rock a baby, I think, or give him a toy. If you know who's worshiping online, if you know how many people are worshiping online and in person, that's pretty much a given, you know who's worshiping in person, I think, because you can talk to them, then you can intentionally craft a worship service for that community, for your community, all the people. Now, this comes very personal in my life at Riverside because I've been tracking meticulously who shows up and when, and what Sundays have how many people in person and online and all these things. I made a video about that. You can watch it. Just click the thing and watch the video. We have at Riverside consistently 60% of our congregants on Sunday morning are online, sometimes more. A couple times it's dipped the other way. Easter and Homecoming Sunday were the only times where the in-person attendance was higher. But online consistently has 60% of our worshiping congregation. Yet the worship service itself, who is it designed for? Just this past week, I was looking at our communion liturgy for this coming Sunday, World Communion Sunday, and our communion liturgy has been the same since we resumed in-person worship a year ago or so, and it has instructions for what to do, and then the end of it, it has a line of like, and for those of you worshiping online, you can use whatever elements you have. For those of you worshiping online, already it sets up a variation. There's the instructions for the normal people, and then for those of you, and it's just this line at the end. So this week we're changing it. I've rewritten that paragraph so it starts with, for those of us worshiping online, and for those of us worshiping in the nave. Like there's one instruction, then another instruction, and it's for those of us, because we're all the us. There's not a us and a you. And then it ends with this, whether we are in the nave, in our homes, wherever we are, we take communion now as one church together. So there's this intentionality of both combining the congregations, the audiences, but starting with the online one, because that, in our context, is the largest congregation. Okay, do you get what I'm saying here? This is a bit of a rant and a ramble and a kid over here. So currently my audience is a 7-month-old, and this is not cutting it. So if you want to do 7-month-old entertainment, you don't talk to the camera about digital ministry. You talk about, I don't know, a little Airstream toy, or a balloon. Ooh, he likes the balloon. When you know the context that you're creating something for, then you can actually design it with intention and purpose, and it fits the space that you're in. Space meaning more than just physical. But if you don't, if you just assume it's, well, the way we've always done it is the norm, and any online people are the other, the variation, the voyeur, then you're never going to actually create a space that's for everybody. I also thought of it this way. So our context at Riverside, 60% online, 40% in person. What if we didn't have a service? What if we had nothing and we were going to design something and we just knew that would be who would show up? We're designing an event, a worship thing, and we know that 60% of the people are going to be on a screen watching through this thing, and 40% will be in the room for the live studio audience, so to speak. How would you design the experience knowing that? Now, I think we're often inheriting how we've done worship services, so we don't do that thought experiment, or at least operationalize, implement it. But what if we did? So maybe that's my challenge for you. First, what's your breakup? What's your makeup? What's your breakdown, shakedown of in-person online? And if you were to start fresh creating a service for that variation, that percentage split, what would it be? Leave some comments below. I want to hear if you have a sense of who's worshiping online, how many, all that comparison, and how you would design something for that whole hybrid audience. Thanks for sticking with me on this episode. The balloon is totally working. I'll see you next time.